Welcome back everyone. As most of you know, Samsung makes a ton of different tablets and I'm a huge fan of them. I think Samsung kills it in the tablet department. Obviously, I don't think they're perfect, but they do a pretty good job at managing and being a kind of a good competitor to Apple. And one of these tablets that they make are the A series of their tablets, very similar to their S series where, the S series is their main one, A series is their cheaper one. Their tablets are the same thing, S7, their main tablet, A7, a cheaper competitor, and this is more so competitor to like the cheaper iPads more so than anything else. And I think with the Galaxy Tab A7, Samsung did a good job overall, but there were a lot of different quirky things they did here and there. And I think overall it's a good tablet, but I do think compared to like the base model iPad, it definitely is an interesting comparison. Now this is not a comparison review, but I'm just kind of talking about it. Now if you want to purchase this specific tablet, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now the front of the Tab A7, you can see it looks pretty good for the most part. Like it actually doesn't look bad. And I do think visually it looks pretty much better than any other iPad for the base models in the mini and the iPad, 8th generation. This thing looks visibly better, but I am not that much of a fan of the panel itself. It is a TFT panel, 10.4 inches. The resolution is 1200 by 2000, and that's a pretty interesting resolution. I don't really see it like that. But, it's 5:3. I think it's pretty good. I think the panel is good enough for the most part. There's not really a high refresh rate, so no like 90 hertz or anything like that, but I think it looks good. I really don't have too many complaints about it, but I think that covers it up on terms of the front. There's no home button. There's nothing else like that. There's no stylus. There's nothing like that at all. So you're pretty much getting a base model iPad. So you're getting pretty much a base model tablet, which again, I'm not really super mad about either. Now you have the charging port in this thing, but an even bigger thing about this specific tablet is that you have a micro SD card slot. And that is something I'm really happy about with this type of tablet. You don't really have to worry about, if I get this tablet, if I run out of storage or whatever. That's not really the case. I mean, you can still run out of storage, but you're pretty much going to be set. And the good thing is, and the bad thing is that this thing only goes up to 64 gigs of storage, but you do get to go up and expand that storage with, your memory card. So that's a pretty big plus in my opinion as well. And I'm a huge fan of having a micro SD card slot like that. Now on the back, you can see definitely not like the most premium looking back you'd ever seen before. And it's nothing compared to the Tab S7, which that thing feels like a very, very premium tablet. And it comes with an S Pen. This thing, just has a basic back. I'm not, like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. It's a cheaper tablet. What are you going to do? And you do have that single camera setup as well. Now there's no wireless charging, nothing like that, but I am happy you have the USB Type-C port. I think having that type of thing is really good, but that really pretty much covers it up on the outside. There's really not a whole lot going on. Now you do have that camera, which we'll get on right now. I mean, we have that 8 megapixel sensor on the front. We have a 5 megapixel front facing camera. And here's the thing, man, like with that back camera, there's really not a whole lot going on with this one either. It's only 1080p video. And what I'll tell you is that if you plan on, I would say it's like pretty much like an iPhone 6 type of camera. If you're somebody who's planning on doing a lot of video work on your specific tablet, you're really not going to have that great of a time with this specific tablet in terms of a camera standpoint. Now it's convenient if you have this and you're just trying to do a bunch of Google Meets and stuff. Just having this type of capability at this point is good, and I like that. But like I mentioned before, just being able to go and having a little bit of a better camera, things like the Galaxy Tab S7 doesn't have much better camera than this. But again, it comes with a cost. It's a much more expensive tablet than this thing, but at least it has a camera on this. The front facing camera is also very convenient. Same resolution on the front and the back. You don't really see that too often, except for nowadays with the iPhones. But I think overall this camera is a good camera for the price tag. Not really. It's not a good camera, but it gets the job done for the most part. So in terms of a camera standpoint, that covers it up there. Now, one of the worst things I don't really like about this phone is the software, and it comes in two folds. It comes one in terms of the looks. I'm not a fan of One UI, but also comes down to the performance, and even the longevity. I don't know how long this tablet is going to last in terms of software. It can't be like a crazy long amount of time considering the S7 is probably going to beat this one, but I really do wish, that Samsung kind of stuck more to a stock approach. I don't really like having a massive amount of just storage and stuff being taken up by the RAM just because of the software needing that much, performance enhances and pretty much, I don't know. So like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's okay for the most part, but it would have been really cool had Samsung stuck or just, implemented some more stockish type of stuff in my opinion. opinion. But that pretty much covers it up there. The battery life, though, is definitely something I'm not going to scoff at. I think it's a really, really good battery life on this specific phone. You have a 7,040 milliamp hour battery, and that is a massive battery to have on this tablet. I mean, it's not a crazy, huge revolutionary thing in terms of performance. It's pretty stock, it's pretty basic, but you do have a couple of other things here and there up its sleeve, which is another really awesome thing with it too. So I think in terms of the battery, thumbs up. In terms of software, very mid. I'm not a huge fan of the software, but again, what are you going to do? You can't really do much about it. We can't go back in time and change what Samsung did with this, and we just kind of have to live with it, in my opinion. So in terms of that covers it up there. And let's go ahead and end it off with the performance. So this thing inside of it has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 chipset, octa-core CPU, Adreno 610 GPU, and there were several different models of this specific tablet. The base models had 3 gigs of RAM, but the top tier models had 4 gigs of RAM. Now here's the thing, having a device like this, like I've always mentioned, is pretty much going to be something that's going to be very mid, like I've said before. When you have a tablet like this, you're pretty much, situated, and you're pretty much set up to be in a situation where your performance is really not going to be that crazy. It's going to be a very basic performing tablet. It's not going to be like something super crazy. And with the Snapdragon 662, I mean, that's a pretty outdated chipset, in terms of a performance standpoint. The 888 is the latest one, and that's already kind of like, we're getting like the 888 plus. We're going to be getting the next one next year. I think it's the 895. And again, I don't want to be in a position where for some reason, these tablets are just not doing a good job, and, you get it today and it's already outdated tomorrow. I hate saying things like that, and I hate recommending things like that to people. And I'm always in a position where, if you want to go and, just get the best thing you can for the price tag, and even like a used older tablet like an S6 is probably going to get you a better performance overall than this thing. So I think in terms of a performance standpoint, like I mentioned, I think it gets the job done, but it's a very slow tablet. There's a lot of glitchiness going on here and there. The panel really also doesn't add too much flavor to it because it is a TFT panel. It's really not that great. But I think if you're somebody who wants to get this type of tablet or have a tablet and kind of get, some Word documents going and maybe play a basic game here and there, but kind of for the most part, just, get the ball rolling in that direction, this may be a really good tablet for you. But I think for everyone else, if you're somebody who's trying to go and, get the best bang for your buck, this is probably not it in terms of a performance standpoint. So in terms of that covers it up there. And to kind of sum up this video and say answer the question, should you buy the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 in 2021? Well, this is pretty much what I'll tell you. I think this tablet is still worth it in some ways. I think it's a good tablet, but I don't know. I just don't think it's a great price. I just think it's very, very mid. That's pretty much the main way to put it. I think it has some things going for it. I think the price tag is pretty competitive, and I think that pretty much covers it up there, but there's really not a whole lot else going with it. I think if you're somebody who wants to get a tablet and move on with your life, this may be one of those tablets, but I think you'd be better off getting something like an S6 or even an iPad. Those probably will get you a better experience overall. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.